The Rio Grande Valley, a place known for its affordable living and vibrant culture, hides a dark secret, a healthcare system that can feel like a recurring nightmare. The issues run rampant, leaving residents feeling frustrated and vulnerable. Over the next 10 chapters, we'll delve into the most shocking realities of healthcare in the Rio Grande Valley. Buckle up, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. And by bumpy, I mean infuriating. Let's start with the front line of healthcare, the staff. Now, there are dedicated professionals out there who genuinely care. When you find one of those offices, don't take them for granted. The unfortunate reality is, rude, dismissive, and clueless people in the front office is the most common complaint found in medical office reviews online. From appointment glitches to insurance snafus, billing nightmares to just plain attitude problems, it's an issue that gets mentioned over and over for nearly every office. If you're looking for a new doctor, better pay close attention to what other people are saying about the staff, because they're not wrong. You'd think basic human decency wouldn't be too much to ask, but in the RGV healthcare system, finding an office with caring, polite, and knowledgeable people can feel like winning the lottery. Now you might think, okay, maybe they're not the friendliest bunch, but at least they know what they're doing, right? Wrong, because basic medical tasks, the kind you'd expect any halfway competent professional to handle, become a game of chance in the RGV. Even taking blood pressure, depending on where they put the cuff, you're going to get a reading that suggests you're either about to explode or are already dead. Basics like height and weight are pretty important for getting prescriptions right, but we've had some staff just ask us instead of actually measuring. Seriously, it's enough to make you want to just show them how it's done. Appointments, the bane of every patient's existence. It's not just about waiting, it's about a whole system designed to make you question your sanity. Overbooking is rampant, leaving you stuck in a waiting room that feels more like a crowded bus station. And then there's the surprises. You book an appointment with a doctor, but end up actually meeting with a nurse practitioner. Now don't get me wrong, nurse practitioners are fantastic. It's when you've been told you're seeing a doctor and you're actually meeting with a different kind of medical professional, that feels like a bait and switch. It's like ordering a prime rib and getting bologna. Sure, it's still something you can eat for dinner, but it's not what you paid for. So, you've braved the incompetent staff, questionable skills, and the appointment gauntlet. You think you're done, right? Wrong again. Communication after your visit can feel like trying to decipher ancient hieroglyphics. Need your test results or have a question? Prepare for a game of phone tag that would make even the most persistent telemarketer give up. You'll be lucky to get a response of any kind, let alone helpful advice. You might see those test results through the online portal, but don't think you're going to set or cancel an appointment in there, or get a question answered by the doctor. Try that, then call the office and ask if they saw your message. The number one answer will be, "What portal? We don't use that." It's like they think your health is a casual acquaintance they occasionally bump into at the grocery store, not something that requires consistent attention. Seriously, it's enough to make you want to invest in a big flock of carrier pigeons. At least they'd be more reliable than the healthcare communication system around here. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, which is money. Healthcare is expensive, we all know that. But in the RGV, you're not just paying for healthcare, you're paying for a masterclass in creative billing. You see, when you get seen by a nurse practitioner, you'd expect to be charged accordingly. But in the RGV, be prepared to be charged the full doctor rate, even if you only saw a nurse practitioner. It's like going to a fancy restaurant, ordering the lunch special, and then getting charged for the lobster bisque. It's highway robbery disguised as medical billing, and it leaves you feeling like you just got mugged by a guy in scrubs. Time is precious, especially in our fast-paced world. But in the Rio Grande Valley healthcare system, your time is only valuable to you. Clinics seem to operate on a hurry-up-and-wait philosophy. You'll rush to make your appointment, only to be left languishing in the waiting room for 4 hours or more. And don't even think about expressing a preference for appointment times. Many offices set appointments on their own, then call the day before to remind you to show up for an appointment you didn't know you had. It's like they think your time is a bottomless pit they can dip into whenever they please. We have lives, jobs, and better things to do than stare at outdated magazines in a waiting room. Communication is everything, they say. But in the Valley healthcare system, communication seems to have taken an extended vacation. We know doctors are human, they might not get a medication just right the first time, or maybe the patient has a reaction no one expected. Things happen, but it's pretty scary to have a medication reaction. Call your doctor for some much-needed advice, and crickets. You can leave message after message for the doctor, call back to follow up, beg the staff for a return call, and eventually you'll find out. The only resolution is to go back to the office and pay for another visit. That's the last thing anyone needs when they're sick, especially when the problem could be solved by the doctor making a quick call to the pharmacy on your behalf. It's enough to make you feel like you need a personal assistant just to navigate your own healthcare. Doctors, the very backbone of the healthcare system, seem to be a rare breed in the Rio Grande Valley. Instead, you're more likely to encounter a revolving door of physician assistants and nurse practitioners. Remember, these are skilled and experienced professionals. They're great. The issue is, sometimes you really need an MD, and they can be hard to find. In fact, some doctors in the area open offices with their name on the sign, but the only staff seeing patients are physician assistants and nurse practitioners. The actual doctor is working somewhere else. This is legal, but it's also a real challenge when you need a specific type of care. It's like going to a Michelin star restaurant and finding out the chef is on vacation. It just doesn't inspire confidence, does it? The lack of doctors in the Rio Grande Valley is a serious issue, and it's leaving residents feeling like they're stuck in a medical game of musical chairs, hoping to land on a seat with the professional they need when the music stops. Trust is essential in any relationship, especially the one between a patient and their healthcare provider. But in the Rio Grande Valley, trust is about as fragile as a sandcastle in a hurricane. With all these issues, it's no wonder residents are left feeling like they can't trust their healthcare providers. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation of quicksand. The erosion of trust in the Valley healthcare system is a serious problem, and it's going to take a concerted effort from both healthcare providers and the community to rebuild it. Navigating the healthcare system in the Rio Grande Valley can feel like trying to herd cats, but we don't have to accept this as our reality. We can be proactive, informed, and vocal about our healthcare experiences. We can demand better from our healthcare providers, hold them accountable for their actions, and support each other by sharing our stories and advocating for change. The Rio Grande Valley deserves a healthcare system that prioritizes patient well-being, not profits. We deserve competent and compassionate care, not incompetence and indifference. Let's work together to transform our healthcare nightmare into a system we can all trust and rely on.